failure. Isn't that game?
It's all a game.
Steve McQueen was once an untouchable symbol of Hollywood, a rugged icon admired and desired by millions. But behind the doors of a seaside home in Malibu, that radiance became a shadow weighing heavily on Ali MacGraw's life. A sensational romance that once consumed endless columns of press coverage ultimately concealed suffocating truths few could have imagined. What really happened inside that isolated world where love was surrounded by control and constant insecurity? When the dazzling facade finally fell away, the bitter prenuptial agreement and the storm-filled years that followed gradually exposed the full truth. Terrence Stephen McQueen was born on March 24, 1930, in Beech Grove, Indiana, into a family that fractured early. His father, stunt pilot William McQueen, abandoned the family when the boy was only 6 months old. His mother, Julia Ann, struggled with severe alcoholism and an unstable lifestyle, soon leaving her son in the care of his maternal grandparents in Slater, Missouri. McQueen's childhood unfolded in the absence of affection and under repeated beatings from a succession of stepfathers after he was reunited with his mother. Serious physical injuries left him with hearing loss in one ear and dyslexia. His rebelliousness began to erupt forcefully during adolescence. He drifted through the streets, joined gangs involved in petty theft, and repeatedly found himself in trouble with the law. Realizing that the situation had moved beyond her control, his mother decided to send him to the California Junior Republic Reform School in Chino when he was 14. The institution's strict discipline gradually shaped the hardened character of the defiant teenager. A deep fear of abandonment and an extreme instinct for self-protection also began taking root during those lonely years. After leaving reform school, the young man found his way into the United States Marine Corps in 1947. During his service, McQueen's reckless temperament once resulted in confinement after he left his post without authorization. Even so, he soon distinguished himself by risking his own life to save 5 fellow Marines during a grueling training exercise in Arctic waters. Notably, his work removing insulation containing asbestos dust from the interior of military vessels during this period quietly planted the seeds of a dangerous illness in the young serviceman's body. After completing his military service and receiving an honorable discharge in 1950, McQueen used educational benefits available to veterans to study professional acting in New York City under the direct guidance of instructor Sanford Meisner. Thanks to his natural talent and distinctly rugged presence, the young former Marine outperformed hundreds of applicants and earned admission to the prestigious Actors Studio led by Lee Strasberg. There, Steve McQueen refined a deeply internal style of performance and began searching for his first opportunities on the theatrical stage. By 1956, the actor's life entered a new chapter when he married dancer and actress Nayla Adams. His devoted wife voluntarily placed her own promising career on hold to become his steady support, managing the turbulence of his private life. Their 2 children, Terry Leslie and Chad, were born in succession, marking a rare period of stability for a man carrying deep psychological wounds. His breakthrough arrived on television when McQueen landed the leading role of Josh Randall in the series Wanted Dead or Alive, which aired for 3 years. The image of the cool, principled bounty hunter quickly attracted special attention from critics and a broad, popular audience. From that solid foothold on the small screen, the gifted actor moved directly into major cinema through a succession of internationally celebrated classics. The Western The Magnificent Seven made his name famous around the world before his role as a courageous prisoner of war in The Great Escape turned him into a genuine box office phenomenon. His tense, deeply internal performance in The Sand Pebbles earned the American star the only Academy Award nomination of his acting career. The height of his fame was firmly established with the crime film Bullet, where the breathless car chases through the steep streets of San Francisco helped define his one-of-a-kind image as the king of cool. Looking back on his journey from adversity to the highest reaches of fame, Steve McQueen once told the media, "I want to live my life the way I want to, because when I'm lying down, nobody can die for me." His extraordinary success brought the screen legend enormous wealth and a position of exceptional power in Hollywood. His rapidly growing fortune and intense public attention opened the door to a life of almost unimaginable luxury. Unresolved psychological shadows and an increasingly reckless lifestyle began drawing severe instability into his private life. The Manson Shadow. The year 1969 marked the moment Steve McQueen reached the summit of fame as the highest-paid actor in the world. Along with that unrivaled status came an extravagant lifestyle without limits, centered on his passion for speed and dangerous adventure. The actor continually expanded his collection of expensive sports cars and powerful motorcycles while personally competing in professional road races. Running alongside those real-life contests of speed was an increasingly serious descent into intoxicants and all-night partying. The actor became heavily dependent on hard liquor, marijuana, and cocaine, turning everyday life into an endless cycle of instability. Although he remained legally married to Neely Adams, the box office star openly became involved with numerous women around him. His prolonged absences and infidelity gradually deepened the cracks inside a family home that was already fragile. The bloody events of the night of August 8, 1969 at Cielo Drive pushed McQueen into a profound psychological crisis. According to an earlier invitation, the actor had planned to attend dinner and a gathering at the home of actress Sharon Tate. A last-minute decision to change course and spend time with another woman spared the star from the brutal massacre carried out by members of Charles Manson's group. The relief of surviving quickly gave way to extreme terror when investigators disclosed a list of intended targets connected to the killers. The actor's name appeared at the very top among prominent Hollywood figures reportedly marked for death. That profound psychological shock transformed Steve's long-standing suspicion into an armed paranoia of pathological intensity. The movie star immediately spent money turning his private residence into a heavily fortified stronghold with strict security measures. A Colt .45 handgun became a constant companion secured at the man's waist throughout ordinary daily life. From the bedroom and dining table to the film set, the weapon remained present, like an extreme survival instinct. Suspicion spread across every social relationship around him, making the atmosphere within the family more suffocating and tense than ever before. The effects of substance use combined with prolonged anxiety pushed the actor's anger toward violence. Baseless interrogations and pathological jealousy repeatedly fell upon his first wife after years of endurance. The conflict reached its peak when the actor discovered that Neely Adams had once engaged in a brief affair in retaliation for his own reckless lifestyle. His rage erupted violently and turned into an interrogation lasting for hours inside their bedroom. In a state of complete loss of control, Steve McQueen used physical force and pointed a gun directly at his wife to compel her to confess every detail. The serious incident destroyed the last remnants of trust and endurance within the woman who had stood beside him. Believing that her life and the safety of their children were directly threatened, Neely Adams decided to file for divorce. The legal proceedings were formally completed in 1972, ending 16 years together, marked by bitterness and pain. The collapse of his first family did not awaken the actor to change, but instead deepened his fear and possessiveness. Leaving the divorce proceedings in loneliness and growing psychological instability, the movie star accepted a role in a new action project in Texas. A fateful encounter on the set drew him into an intensely magnetic romantic connection with one of the era's most prominent actresses. The Golden Cage. The action film The Getaway brought Steve McQueen and actress Ali MacGraw together in a fateful encounter on location in Texas. At the time, MacGraw stood at the height of global fame, following Love Story, and was also the wife of Robert Evans, the powerful production executive at Paramount Pictures. The veteran star's presence immediately created a powerful attraction, leaving the actress overwhelmed and quickly drawing her into a secret, romantic relationship. Her decision to leave behind a luxurious marriage with Evans and her young son Joshua opened the way for MacGraw to move in with McQueen at his beach house in Trancas Beach, Malibu. Their wedding was held simply on July 13, 1973, in a small park in Cheyenne, Wyoming. Before the ceremony, Steve McQueen required his fiancée to sign a prenuptial agreement hurriedly prepared in a room at a Holiday Inn. Wanting to prove that her feelings were sincere and not motivated by money, MacGraw agreed to surrender all financial claims as well as any right to seek support in the event of divorce. Alongside the legal agreement came an unspoken but coercive demand. She was expected to abandon her flourishing acting career entirely and become a full-time homemaker. The once celebrated actress accepted a life of jeans and simple t-shirts, remaining in the kitchen and preparing dinner promptly at 6 o'clock every evening. Life at Trancas Beach quickly became an isolated environment under McQueen's rigid control. Calls from colleagues, friends, and filmmakers trying to reach his wife were blocked by the actor through hostile exchanges on the household telephone. His pathological suspicion led him to question every casual glance directed toward his wife, even checking the mileage on her car after she returned from shopping for household necessities. The handgun constantly present inside the house, combined with the man's unpredictable temper, created an atmosphere of permanent intimidation. Her physical fear intensified after an incident in which the actor struck her forehead with his hand during a violent outburst. While isolating his partner, Steve continued his uncontrolled lifestyle outside the marriage. He openly brought unfamiliar women into the guest house beside the main residence for parties that continued through the night. The following morning, the star ordered his wife into the kitchen to prepare breakfast for the guests, and MacGraw suppressed her humiliation and complied in order to avoid further confrontation. Prolonged emotional pressure gradually caused the actress to lose her sense of self, later acknowledging that only half of who she was had been allowed to exist. To cope with depression and her fear of abandonment, she began turning to hard liquor, trapping herself in a cycle of insecurity and deep emotional dependence. Ali MacGraw's endurance gradually reached its limit after half a decade of living under restraint and continuous psychological pain. Recognizing that the suffocating environment was threatening both her own future and that of her young son, she decided to leave. The end of the relationship pushed the actor into another period of upheaval in both his private life and career. The escape. The year 1978 brought the official end of the stormy marriage between Steve McQueen and Ali MacGraw. Faced with fractures that could no longer be repaired, MacGraw packed her belongings and left the seaside home with her young son. The strict legal force of the prenuptial agreement meant that she walked away with nothing, receiving neither a division of assets nor ongoing financial support. She was forced to rent a small house, support herself financially, and begin searching once again for acting opportunities that had been completely interrupted after years away from the screen. Returning to single life, the movie star quickly sought new comfort beside young model Barbara Minty. The two moved together to a quiet ranch in Santa Paula, and later formally married. Alongside his new romantic life, the veteran star attempted to maintain his artistic standing through films with dramatically different styles. He changed his appearance with a heavy beard to play Dr. Thomas Stockman in the dramatic adaptation An Enemy of the People, while continuing to explore the Western genre through Tom Horn. The action film The Hunter, released to the public, recorded Steve's final efforts on a professional film set. His severely declining physical condition, persistent coughing, and repeated shortness of breath increasingly interfered with scenes requiring strenuous movement. By December 1979, specialists delivered the official diagnosis: the actor had advanced malignant pleural mesothelioma. The deadly illness was directly linked to exposure to high concentrations of asbestos dust during his service in the Marine Corps decades earlier. When leading hospitals in the United States refused surgery because the cancer had spread extensively through his chest, McQueen decided to seek hope beyond the country's borders. He secretly traveled to the clinic of Dr. William Kelly in Juarez, Mexico, where he received alternative treatments lacking established medical validation, including pancreatic enzymes, mineral solutions, and injections of living cells. In spite of his persistent efforts to prolong his life, the former serviceman's physical deterioration became increasingly severe. On November 7, 1980, Steve McQueen died after suffering sudden cardiac failure in a hospital room in Juarez, only one day after major surgery to remove a large abdominal tumor. He was 50 years old. The movie star's ashes were later scattered over the Pacific Ocean in accordance with his wishes. The death of the rugged screen icon left profound sorrow across popular culture and unfillable spaces in the lives of those left behind. The end of a life filled with both extraordinary fame and hidden darkness brought the legend of the seemingly invincible King of Cool on screen to a close. For the women who had once been deeply connected to him, the psychological wounds and haunting memories continued for decades. The journey of confronting the past and searching for emotional release began, opening the way to deeper reflection as the shadow of fame receded. Confessions in later life. News of Steve McQueen's sudden death in Mexico left Ali MacGraw with a profound emotional void. Her regret over never having the chance to hold a direct reconciliatory conversation with her former husband before his death pushed her further into crisis. The former star descended into prolonged periods of alcohol misuse and damaging romantic relationships in an effort to fill the emptiness within her. A turning point in rebuilding her life came in 1986, when MacGraw entered a 30-day residential treatment program at the Betty Ford Center in Rancho Mirage, California. There, the courageous woman confronted substance dependence and severe emotional dependency. Therapy helped her understand that for years she had voluntarily surrendered her identity and individual voice while living beside a powerful man. In 1991, the former actress officially released her memoir, Moving Pictures, publicly revealing previously untold aspects of her private life, fame, and turbulent marriage. The book quickly became a bestseller and was noted for the directness with which she refused to portray herself as an absolute victim. MacGraw acknowledged that she also carried part of the responsibility because she had hidden her true self and compromised in the face of unreasonable demands from her late partner. A devastating wildfire that completely destroyed her Malibu home in 1993 prompted the actress to leave Hollywood and permanently relocate to the desert landscape of Santa Fe, New Mexico. In the quiet, natural surroundings, she found balance through a dedicated yoga practice and devoted herself fully to animal rights campaigns. MacGraw's relationship with producer Robert Evans also gradually healed into a close friendship that endured until Evans died in 2019. At the age of 85, looking back across the storms of her life, Ali MacGraw offered profound reflections on the real Steve McQueen. She came to understand that the actor's extreme controlling behavior and violent rage grew from deep wounds and a fear of abandonment rooted in childhood. That compassion allowed her to close the painful chapter of the past with a greater sense of peace, while drawing one essential lesson: real love never makes you smaller. If a relationship requires you to become smaller, then it is not love. The image of the rugged man on screen still stands as a classic legacy of 20th century popular culture. Behind the legendary title, though, lies an expensive lesson about the cost of domination and psychological wounds that were never healed. The lives of those two gifted people remain a stark reflection of the fragile boundary between artistic glory and personal tragedy. Hollywood's brilliant glow can captivate millions, but the hidden spaces behind closed doors are where the character and fate of a human being are reflected most clearly. The life of Steve McQueen and Ali MacGraw's awakening at the age of 85 remind us of the value of personal autonomy. Never trade away your own identity in any relationship. What do you think about the tragic marriage between these two screen icons? Can control ever be justified in the name of love? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. If this video has given you meaningful and valuable perspectives, remember to share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel with notifications turned on, so you do not miss the next profiles and classic Hollywood accounts. Thank you for being with us. Goodbye, and see you again in the documentaries to come.